All right, man, feels good to be back on the system, dog. So I got the old microphone. This was the one that started the channel, y'all. I had to figure out how you guys could hear the sound, and I finally figured it out. It's a super weird situation. I have a massive headache. Only got 3 hours of sleep, man. Kind of sucks. But we here regardless. Shout out to all my West Coast folks. For you, it's only 9 o'clock. Must be nice. That means tomorrow your draft coverage is going to start at 9 a.m. and you'll be done by 4. That's fantastic. All right, we're not going to be on too long. Brad Holmes did a press conference, and we're going to do some reaction to that. Got to make sure I got it queued up. We're going to put that over. Nope, put that over there. All right, pause that. Okay, so this is the old system, the old way I used to bring it in before I got the new system. So figured out how to do it. But first, we've got to have a discussion. And I want you to grade the draft. I can't sleep. I'm you hot right now. All right, so I'm gonna do this. Wait, don't do it yet. Grade. I want you to grade the second round or day 2. All right. So grade day 2 of the draft. Yes, I have to type out as I talk. And we're going to do add option. So I'm going to put in I guess I'll just put A, B, C, and then I'll put other. Last option will be other. Or I'll say D or worse. D or worse. Okay. And we're going to start the poll. All right, so let me just tell y'all a little something. Y'all thought I was going to crash out today. First of all, let me address the bum at the draft that thought he was important because he's credentialed and he was at the draft. Little old me had the best stream on YouTube today, as far as I know. I didn't check everybody's numbers, but yeah. So how's that for crashing out? I'm ready to pull receipts. That's all I'm saying. Just let me know when you want me to put a receipts. I got plenty. Okay, so a lot of y'all thought I was going to crash out today. I didn't. I had trouble sleeping last night. I was on Twitter till like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning. My ex-wife called me at 7:30 in the morning because my kid is going to see Minecraft tomorrow. So she wanted, I'm like, bruh, 7:30 in the morning, dog. So I've been up since then. And I think I'm tired, but I think what I did today is I realized that it's only so much that I can control, right? Like I can't, very, very similar to Shedeur Sanders, what's happening to him. Now, I promise you, you're not going to lose me inside of this new version of myself, but I think I'm tired more ways than one. Brad Holmes had on the shirt today that said WCH or WHC. And it stood for weight, height, and something else. And he had a line through it. I made a video, and that's why this live stream is titled Arrogant or Genius. Because I have told you guys for a long time that this year was going to be a crucial year for Brad Holmes. It was going to be a very pivotal year for Brad Holmes. Now, somebody in my comment section today in the live stream said that, when are we going to start calling out Dan Campbell? And to me, I think right now you have to separate the two because they're joined at the hip. They say, this is his time to cook. Let Brad cook, right? Dan has done a fantastic job coaching this team. And Brad, if he wanted to, could pull the rank. If he wanted to. Just like Sheila could pull rank on Brad, Brad could pull rank on Sheila on Dan. I'm holding Brad Holmes accountable. But what I've noticed is that the fan base after today is starting to catch up. Now, let me say something about Zadarius Smith. I'm going to make a video about Zadarius Smith. And if I'm Zadarius Smith, two things are going to happen. The only way I stay in Detroit is one, my girlfriend wants me to stay, or two, you pay me. That's it. That's it. If I'm Zadarius, your price just went up. That's right. I said it. I said it. If I'm Zadarius Smith, your price went up. Brad Holmes is going to talk about something that I'm going to say, I don't know. It's hard to believe. He says we're going to get into it, but he said he traded up for a pass rusher. He tried to. How many times have we heard that? So let's just recap and see what we did today. We traded both third-round picks next year, our third-round pick and our compensatory pick for Aaron Glenn. We traded up for Isaac Tesla. I made a video about him. Not surprised at all. He was part of the top 30. I think that Brad Holmes is going to take the rest of the people that came in the top 30. Don't forget Q Robinson, who has not been drafted. He came in the top 30. There is a tight end that came in the top 30. There is a Scatterbull came in the top 30. And there's a linebacker that came in, and I cannot remember these guys' name. All four of those will be drafted or undrafted rookie free agents that will be on the Detroit Lions. Right now, the Lions have 3 7th-round picks and 2 6th-round picks. If we do the math, our best shot is the 6th round or undrafted free agency. 7th-round picks, if they make the team, they're no better than special teams. A la Chase Lucas, a la Jamar Jefferson. You can even say a la Antoine Green. Hasn't really done anything for the team. 7th-round picks don't make rosters. That's just how that's how it is. And if they do, they don't impact the roster on outside of special teams. So I'm about to say something to y'all that's actually going to upset some of y'all. I'm actually glad he didn't take one. I'm glad he didn't take a pass rusher. I'm glad. I am 100 because now you guys maybe start to see what I see, right? I've been talking about this for a while. Brad Holmes, I said that the cracks were starting to show. Now, before we go any further, how many podcasts, how many Lions creators have you watched that had a problem with the picks? Because I'm going to be real. A guard in a second that we traded up for. All we do is kind of take guards. We took Kobe Sorsdahl. We took 2 guards last year, and we took a 3rd one this year. We take guards. I know Graham, Glasgow, I get it. The more pressing need at this moment was a defensive end, right? Can we all agree? The cracks are starting to show with Brad Holmes. And you're going to see that today in this press conference. He is visibly upset. Oh, as a matter of fact, I was supposed to rename the thumbnail was going to say Shook Ones. The thumbnail was going to say Shook Ones. As a matter of fact, I'm going to redo that. I'm going to redo that thumbnail, and we're going to call it Shook Ones. Because that was supposed to be the name of, that was supposed to be the thumbnail. Because Brad Holmes, shout out to the Detroit Lions media, because they're on his head. I haven't seen this yet, but I have heard about it. And according to what they say, Brad Holmes is feeling some type of way. He's getting visibly agitated, which is the first time that I've seen this. Even with Jahmyr Gibbs, when he was drafted, we didn't see this. We didn't see this. This dude is visibly irritated. He's visibly agitated. And there's a remark in here. You're going to see it. And I think Brad Holmes, and I'm not trying to talk bad about him. That's not what this is about. But I think his true, he's starting to kind of show himself a little bit. He's starting to kind of show himself. And we're going to take a look at that. So before we go any further, let me save this. I want that new thumbnail. And then we're going to add these products. Now we'll be on tomorrow for all day. We're not going to get on till noon. I might be even late. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. Is this frozen now? Are we frozen? What's happening? Okay, there we go. All right. So let me take a look right now. So the chat says, great. We got how many votes? 137. We got 12% gave it A. 35% a B. 26% D or worse. 27% say a C. I think we got some Glazers in the chat, bro. I'm not going to lie. But I think the glazing you're about to see, I've never been tagged so many times on Twitter as I have today. All right. So we're going to cut back and forth to this. I don't want to keep y'all, even though it's a weekend day. Some of you might have to work tomorrow, but let me know if you can hear it when I bring it in. Just put a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear. Here's Brad Holmes' press conference, man. You can tell he's feeling some type of way.
Rose more as a process went along because of his versatility that we were able to find out a little bit more about. So I thought that he would just fit in just like a glove here. And then Tesla, he was one, saw him at the Senior Bowl when I went down there and hadn't watched his film yet. But just saw how he was in the run game in the team periods, just his blocking and his size. And
do I need to turn it up, or is it good?
And he was just pissing off the DBs and the defenders. And obviously it made me just want to completely watch the tape. And then you see a guy that's just big, long, smooth strider, can accelerate, can run. He's a hands catcher, can play special teams, can block.
How about now?
Can do a lot of things. So we're really excited to land both of them. And, really it's just at some point, you're going to run out of, the well runs dry at some points in these drafts. So, you better get the guys that you really, really want, and you got to worry about that other stuff later. So I do look at the stuff later. I do look at, what we have in the future, and when we do trade future picks and all that stuff, I feel comfortable with it. But as long as the guys that we love, we don't flinch, we just go and get them.
I just played a lot in the slot at Arkansas. You view him as a kind of a versatile guy that can, obviously with his frame, it seems like he can step outside and give you something down the field, and
Absolutely.
You see him as a multi-versatile.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's going to be able to do both. Again, just like any other receiver, he's going to need to develop, but he's got the tools to play outside and win outside. He's going to have to learn, getting off press and all that stuff, just like they all do.
All right, so I want to be clear about something. I'm not necessarily upset at Tesla. I'm not bothered by it. When I looked at him, it's like, okay, we need a receiver. I'm not bothered by that. I'm more kind of intrigued with the lack of just the complete disregard for the edge rusher position. Brad makes a lot of excuses, and he might need to find a job in 3 years. That's just how it is. I'm not saying he's going to get fired. I'm saying he might need to find a job in 3 years. But I don't dislike the guy. I think, do we need a guard now? I think we need an edge rusher more.
But he's got all the physical tool, and he's got the intangible makeup to be able to overcome that.
How much did you like his backstory? I guess, going from no-star recruit to Hillsdale to Arkansas, and even this past year, not really maybe having as many opportunities. How much did that kind of stand out?
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. Obviously I knew all about his story before I met him, but just to hear him kind of walk me and Dan through it in terms of just, him getting to Hillsdale and how that process worked, and even his family and the connection there. And then, going to Arkansas and the higher production the year before, and then it dipped down, and just the explanation from there. And I thought he handled it very professionally, but he's just, I'm sure, I don't know if he told you, but when he came on his top 30 of his, he had on a Lions jersey. And I thought he just did a cheesy move just to some fanboy stuff. And I'm just like, oh, come on, you didn't put a Lions jersey.
All right, now I want you to pay attention to something here. I want you to watch Brad Holmes' body language. Watch his body language. He knows he's going to get asked these questions. He knows the pass rusher's coming up. And I got to give kudos to the Detroit Lions media, Macron, all those guys there. They've been not all of them, but a lot of them been soft. I've heard Justin Rogers. I've heard Macron. I've heard Dave Burkett. But they've been soft on him until recently. I want you to watch this. Look at him. He's smiling right now. I want you to pay attention to when he is visibly bothered coming up. He's tired of hearing about it. And that's why I put shook ones, because he's starting to get a little shook.
But he said, no, I've had it since the 8th grade. you know, and he's like, what better time to wear it than now? And so I really respected that. But no, he grew up as a Lions fan through and through. But obviously that is not why we were excited to go up there and pick him. We were excited to go up there and pick him because he's big, he can run, he's tough, he's smart, he's a hands catcher, and he blocks, and he plays special teams. And that's why we're excited to go get him.
Back to just the trading as a whole, like, can you just explain a little bit more about when you feel convicted about someone, I don't know if it's a rush or whatever it is, but you've done it 11 times now. And in your drafts, you see someone, you trust your evaluation of them, and you go get them. Can you just explain that?
It's just, look, man, who are you? Who are those guys that you just have that, you have that gut feeling about that you really want them? And especially if it's a universal, if it's an alignment, if me and Dan are aligned in our conviction and our love for the player, which usually we are, and, it's just, you just feel it. And so the more that we, looked at, obviously I looked at Tyleek a lot more than before Dan got in, but I wasn't surprised Dan loved Tyleek because, that's one of his guys. It's his type of player. It's my type of player. He fits right in. He's the type of guy who we like. One shot that he was going to love Tesla. He's everything that we're about. Tate Ratledge. So you have to feel that.
Hold on. Let me get back on camera. First of all, Mel, I have no idea what's up with you, big dog. I have no clue. But if you're referring to us as Lions fans, I don't know how old you are. I don't know how long you've been a Lions fan. This team owes us everything. This team owes us everything. The team owes us everything. I've not had a crash out today. I don't plan to have one. But you are correct. Bob Quinn never had this much access. We never had this much access to him or Matt Patricia. This is something that this regime brought in. But when you talk about the Detroit Lions organization, the organization that you and I root for, this team owes us everything. They owe us everything. We have the highest ticket prices in the National Football League. We have never been to a Super Bowl. We're the only NFC team to never be the one. They owe us everything. Now, if you want to live like that, that's fine. I'll transfer my season tickets, have you pay for them, right? When I get them. They owe us everything. This is what is sad about Detroit Lions fans. Have we really got out of SOL? Think about it. Have we really got out of SOL? This team was mediocre 2 years ago. We've been winning for 2 seasons, and now we're about to have a dynasty. I don't think I've seen a fan base with a faster who has earned nothing. This team has earned nothing. They've earned nothing. You have an NFC North title. This team owes us everything. Brad Holmes was brought in here to be the general manager and bring us a Super Bowl. That is the only reason he's here. This is the same team that brought in Matt Patricia. Let's follow. Black general manager hires a black head coach. Black general manager gets fired. Head coach stays. White general manager comes in, fires black head coach, hires white coach, who destroyed this entire organization, set us back 6 years. This team owes us everything. And if you don't feel like that, shame on you and anybody else. This is why we can't move, because we settle for less. Nobody's going to say this, so I'll tell you. Brad Holmes needs a contract extension in 3 years. He's earned his first one. He has to earn his second one, or he won't be around. Brad Holmes is just like every other player. He's just like Jared Goff and all the players on the team. They have to earn a contract extension. So does this man. This is why we're sad. This is why last night I said that you guys were pathetic, and I was talking to a certain type of individual. This team owes us everything. What does their skin color have to do with anything? Just brought it up. That's all. And let's not, come on, dog. Come on, dog. Let's not act like it's not a thing. Because let's not act like it's not a thing now. Let's not act like Bob Quinn didn't fire Jim Caldwell. Let's not act like, and it was because 9-7 wasn't good enough and we couldn't beat the good teams. Let's not act like that now. Isaac Tesla is Isaac Tesla. Not bothered by the pick at all. Two third-round picks next year. We don't have one right now. That got me feeling some type of way. But I liked him when I was watching him. It is what it is. I'm focused on one thing. Obviously, the one thing Brad is not focused on. So whatever you feel is what you feel. Like I said, I'm not crashing out. It ain't that. Brad, I'm going to be here regardless. Brad Holmes has to earn the right to stay. Delusional Lions fan says, instant race for bringing it up. Okay. All right, bro. I will see you when the season begins. Peace out, brother. So a black man can't bling up. A black man can't bring. Come on, dog. Now that's going to make me crash out. You sound ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. Are we just going to solely pretend that Bob Quinn fired Jim Caldwell because he couldn't beat the good teams? The man didn't want to hear from the minute he got here, dog. Come on, man. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You never, ever hear me bring up race. But let's not act like it might not have been a thing. Anyway, let's keep going.
You have to feel it in your gut. You have to, and that conviction feels, and it happens at different parts. Like when I first saw Tesla at the Senior Bowl, that's when I was like, "Whoa, who's this kid blocking like that?" Then you watch the tape, and I'm thinking, "Okay, yeah, he blocked. Okay, fine." But he shows all this other stuff, or the same thing with Ratledge.
Brad, I'm asking you a obligatory question.
Yeah.
Were you tempted with the edge rushers go too quickly for you to make a move?
All right, so this is the first question. Look at Brad Holmes right now. Look at his eyebrows, bro. The forehead is already bunching up. It's already bunching up. That's great. And here it begins.
And is that a little bit of a disappointment?
No, I wouldn't say it's a disappointment because we got all guys that we love. So, just like I told you guys before the draft, we could have drafted an edge rusher that plays that position. We could have done that. Y'all would have been happy, right?
Ooh.
You guys would have been happy if we would have drafted.
Ooh, hold on. Wait. Ooh. Yo, that might be the most aggressive he's been. Wait a minute. I mean, like he pointed it. Wow. Let's go back a little bit. Wow. I mean, I told you, man, he feeling some type of way.
Done that. Y'all would have been happy, right? You guys would have been happy if we would have drafted an edge rusher that, huh? If he was good. That's it. That's it. All I hear is edge rusher, draft to edge rusher. So I'm like, well, are you assuming that the guy is really good? Well, that's a whole different story. Can you get in position to get one of those? And, and look, there's, I don't need to get into specifics, but there's times where we made attempts to get one and you just, they got picked before, you couldn't get.
Hold on, wait. Who reaching? Who reaching? Let me get back on camera. Who reaching? And reaching with what? Scott said I was reaching, so I want to see what he's talking about. Okay, we'll come back to you when you're ready.
Up the team, then it takes two to trade, or we just had another player higher. But we did the same thing that we do every draft. We picked the highest rated player regardless of position. So that's what we did this whole way through.
Hold on now, because I got to get on camera for this one. Because I want to make sure I get this right. And I'm good, y'all. I'm good. I think I done got all my kinks. Everything is out, bro. Hold on, where will we at? Right here. I want to make sure I got this right. Brad Holmes said they picked the highest rated player. That's what he just said. So that means that Broderick Martin was the highest rated player. Just think about that.
That's what we're going to do again tomorrow. So, yes, we could have. There's some edge rushers still available. We don't have them ranked as high. You know what I mean? So we're just going to always get the best player.
Is it fair to say the search continues?
The search for an edge rusher? I mean, we're always going to look for edge rushers. I told you guys that. Yeah.
Like your ideal edge rusher, can you just define like?
Oh, wait. That's three in a row. That's 3 questions in a row. Look at the eyes. Look at above the eyes. He getting ear. It looked like one eye bigger than the other. His head is about to pop. His head is about to pop. See, that's why I put arrogant genius. Because he in his own way. He's going to be his biggest enemy.
In that position, what do I think we know receiver, right? Like that guy that blocks and that does everything in hand, all the things that you just explained about.
He's got to win rushes. You got to set edges. That's what he's got to do. However he's going to win rushes, whether it's through pocket, through long arming. If he can turn speed to power, if he has the instincts, if he had the craftiness with his hands, even if he does.
Oh, Mel, you got a lot of talking, bro, because you went silent for a minute. Said sounds like me. Hey, make sure you watch the Cosby Show on repeat, bro, with that hat on. I'll see you tomorrow.
Might not have top juice, but you can still win rushes. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, that's why you're asking about – that's why you guys keep asking about that position, right? Because it's like you look at like a Madden diagram.
Ooh, wait. Hold on. Hey, this alone is why I'm about to get credentials, bro. I'm about to get credentials. Alita says Brad is playing chess, not checkers. Bro, that's so old. And what chess, what he playing? Is he Bobby Fischer? Did he just learn yesterday? I mean, what are we talking about, bro? I don't understand y'all. This is what I'm saying, man. What level, what do you want as a Lions fan? Do you want to die with nothing, with no championship? Is that what you want? We playing chess, not checkers? Bro, what are we talking about? We ain't never been nowhere. We've never been a Super. What are we talking about, bro? He playing checkers with the little egg you get on Easter. You know the little the chessboard, the paper checkerboards that come out of. Come on, man. What is we talking about? I mean, this is ridiculous to me. Bro, if I had credentials right now, they probably would put me out. Because you see how aggressive Brad is getting. He's genuine questions. We just had. Because you know how many times I would bring up Broderick Martin? So right when he said we take the best player available at that, I would have said, so that means that Broderick was the best. Like, they would hate me, bro. My relationships would be tarnished. I wouldn't even be allowed in the cafeteria.
The arrows pointing up like an arrow is drawing. And it doesn't always work that way. That's not how the defensive end positions always play, just an arrow running a hoop. But, yes, you got to win rushes.
Is it just me, or is he kind of condescending a little bit? Does he sound a little bit condescending? Like, is it me?
Set edges.
Brad, we always know that you look for a best player available. So given, how coveted edge rushers are, is there a scenario in which the Lions don't take an edge rusher in this draft?
No, wait. Oh, that's 4 in a row. Bro, this is gold. Bro. AJ said they would escort me off the print. Bro, my badge wouldn't even get me in. This is phenomenal. I'm going to watch this on repeat.
We're not gonna chase a position. The guy has to be a good player and that we love. Now, I'm not saying that they're not good players that other people might have higher. Might be, but we're not going to take a player that we don't value as high just because he plays a position. I've been telling you guys that forever. I don't know why. But, I mean, you guys keep asking a question because we had injuries last year, right? I just want to make that clear, right? Because we had injuries last year. That's why you guys keep.
Maybe we don't see as much depth at that position right now.
As much depth? Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Where are you going to find them if you don't draft?
We'll keep looking. I mean, we turn over every stone. There's other avenues in the player acquisition process, so it doesn't stop at the draft. So we'll see. But no, I mean, it's a fair statement. But I mean, just because you don't draft one doesn't mean. I mean, we got one last year, at the trade deadline. So, but that's not. It's
Dog. Okay. I said I won't go crash out. You cut the dude. You cut Brad. He hates him. He hates him, bro. He doesn't like edge rushers. It's obvious. You cut. It ain't like he's still on the team. This is a comedy. This is comedy gold, bro. He's not even on the team anymore. You traded for a guy that's not on the team anymore. He acted like he did. Wow. I mean,
it's more on the top of y'all's priority than it is on the top of our priority.
Oh. Hold on. Wait a minute. There it is. We got the statement. I said it was not a priority, bro. Put some respect on my doggone name. Put some respect on my name, bro. I said it. He don't care. I said yesterday. The quote was, he doesn't give a fart. It's obvious. Trey Hendrickson, stop it. I'm telling you right now, Zadarius Smith, you stay your butt at the crib. As a matter of fact, if I'm you, I'm on the phone right now with Benedict Johnson, and I'm calling you to ask, hey, I'm trying to complete my award tour. You got some room? Because it's 3 other teams I got to get with. That's crazy, bro. He finally said it.
It doesn't stop at the draft, so we'll see. But no, I mean, it's a fair statement. But I mean, just because you don't draft one doesn't mean. I mean, we got one last year, at the trade deadline. So, but that's not. It's more on the top of y'all's priority than it is on the top of our priority.
Ooh. Hey, Aiden, bruh. Man, Aiden. Hey. Man, hey, Aiden, I'm praying for you, bro. I'm praying for you. Because you about to do everything again. Wow. That is why we cut Zadarius Smith. It wasn't just about money. It's not a priority. You notice what he just said? We traded for one at the trade deadline. He had you fooled, didn't he? Remember we were supposed to be trading for Daniil Hunter? Hey, the rumors is cool. They make for good videos. They help pay the bills. But that's all they are. This is classic, bro. This is classic. He's showing his tail now. He's showing his tail right now. Dog, they would hate me. I would be the Grant Cohen of Detroit Lions.
Is it fair to ask if Mike Green was on your board?
Oh, I'll keep that to ourselves.
Isaac, he said, he kind of models his game after Puka. I think that's maybe one thing we could see carried over from your time at the Rams, is just the way you guys value receivers and the type of receivers with the physicality and whatnot. All right, let me see the super chat. If I missed anybody's, let me know. Dylan, I appreciate you, big dog. Says, D, I'm about to crash out. He is the only one who doesn't know we need a pass rusher. Same as the past 2 seasons. $40 million in cap space, 0 ads, not a priority, ? Yeah, but at least he said it. So, check this out. Zadarius Smith was the leading sacker after Aiden Hutchinson. He was the leading pressure getter after Aiden Hutchinson. And Zadarius was only here for, 7-8 games? And we cut him because he wasn't a priority. So if I'm Zadarius Smith, you got to either pay me, maybe my girlfriend, to help me stay for less.
This is so now it all makes sense. It really so you literally had the golden child fall in your lap with Hutch, and you took him. Now you see why I said I was surprised. But you know what? They didn't take Aiden because he was the best pass rusher because they needed an edge rusher. They took him because he fit the team. Aiden's motor is phenomenal. Blue chip. Aiden, he was not drafted for his talent. He was drafted for everything else. That's crazy. This is almost unreal.
I guess over the course of your scouting career to now, like how has your view of the receiving position changed and the traits you really look for at that spot?
Yeah, I think so much goes into, especially in this world, so much goes into the highlights and the explosive plays, and those are great, and the 40 times and all this and that. But man, look, the guy's got to have instincts. He's got to be a football player, and he's got to be tough. And there's a lot of dirty work that's involved at that position, and it's a hard position to learn. So you got to be really, really smart. You got to be able to do a lot of different roles. You got to be able to dig out safeties. You got to be able to do a lot of different things in the run game. Like, yeah, we've had an explosive run game for the past years, but that's because our wide receivers block. And if your wide receivers don't block, you can't have an explosive running game. And so, like, those are things. But you have to want to be able to block, you got to be tough. And, there's some guys that might be very explosive and, maybe run fast and have great hands. But if they're not tough and physical, so that's kind of – it's that and also, like, being able to run through a tackle.
Outside of this, were you pleased that you were able to fortify your trenches, which obviously is a big deal, but a big offensive lineman, a big defensive lineman, was that imperative in this draft?
Yeah, I mean, we would have liked to come away. We knew that we wanted to add more youth into the offensive line, and like I told you guys, that probably maybe at the end of the season, that's just always going to be at the forefront no matter what. So that's always going to go into every single draft probably. But the defensive line the same way. I mean, that's the foundation that's where games are won. And so I think it's going to always be of importance. It's not going to be just, hey, you got to have this edge rusher. You got to have this, it's just the OLDL, it starts there.
When you draft.
That's funny to me, bro. That's funny. So MP in the building. He says that the Falcons took a pass rusher, edges in the first round. The Falcons had the worst pass rush in the National Football League. Will they have the best? I don't know. You can see Brad's. He's defensive now. You can see it. He's been defensive ever since the questions have been asked about the pass rusher. He's anticipating another one. He is his biggest worst enemy. Either two things are gonna happen, y'all. He gonna take us to a title, or he's not. And just like we talked about earlier, he needs to earn an extension. He earned the first one. Notice that he got the extension after we made it to the NFC Championship game. I don't know. Sheila's a wild card. I don't know what she's going to do. She believed in them when we were 1-6. I'm sure she's believing in them now, but what will happen at the end of 2027 if we have not at least been to a Super Bowl?
Mahogany last year, you affectionately referred to him as a dirtbag. Mm-hmm. Tate said that's a moniker he also wears proudly. How exciting is the prospect of having two guards that kind of both think in that same way?
Yeah. I think that's going to be cool, both those guys being in the locker room together and in that O-line room together. But, that's just, again, just like Mahogany fit what we're looking for, Tate fits what we're looking for. Whether he's got his mullet or not, he's going to – he plays the game the right way. He's tough. He's physical. He's a lot more athletic than you may think, and he's got a lot more versatility than people may realize. And that's really when he really rose through the process for us. But those guys fit. They're smart. They're tough. They're gritty, and they play our style of ball. Yeah.
Your philosophy on count picks, as your roster sort of evolves to the point that you might be able to play that count pick game a little bit using both, the trades today. So just can you share your philosophy on how important it is to acquire them and what it means when you have.
Yeah, no, I think they're great. You just got to be strategic in terms of how you utilize them. So again, you know, you got to be convicted on the player if you're going to spend it. But, you know, and I know that was 2/3 for next year. You know, quite frankly, we're not picking in the third round next year. But again, those are the decisions that you got to be at peace with. And obviously the comp pick is really, really late. But, you know, a lot of teams discount our picks, you know, for trades, you know, really, really late as well. So so all those things come into play when you're trying to trade up. But the comp picks for sure, yeah, they're very valuable. They're very valuable today. Oh, you're talking about to acquire the comp picks. Oh yeah, yo, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, yes, absolutely. We talk about that every year. You know, when do you stop? You know, spending over a certain amount, and in terms of what you're going to be losing. So, we strategically go over that every year just to see what we can possibly come up with, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's something that's always at the top of mind during free agency.
What's the message on the sweatshirt? Height, weight, speed? What is that?
Yeah, you got it. It's it's just a line through height, weight, speed. Yeah, no, it's just I say height, weight, speed. It's the
All right, so I want you to notice something about Brad Holmes. He be sneaky. He be sneaky with his clapbacks. The villain shirt. Remember, he never released it. I never saw it for sale. It was an inside thing. I get that. I forgot when that was. That before Jameer? I think it was before Jameer. But this is for height, weight, speed, and he's about to explain. You notice how he comes out with these things, like for special occasions. This guy will be his worst enemy. And you know, I know y'all hate it. It's okay. I'm not crashing out. It's cool. I'm gonna be around regardless. I'm not going to tell you some fluff and stuff like that. Brad Holmes is either he's going to make or break his case, like he is. For the first time, he said that edge rusher was more of a priority for us than for them, which tells me that the best we're going to get is a Darius Smith. We were never, and that we should be thankful that Jacksonville is dumb. They were dumb at the time in 2022. If they passed on our best pass rusher, that I'm going to be real, that we will probably see under Brad. This makes me believe. Let me ask y'all this. He said that he tried to trade up for a pass rusher, but he's got to be their guy. I don't know if I believe the Danielle Hunter stuff. I don't believe that they didn't take calls on J-Mo. It's too coincidental. They didn't take calls on that. It's too. You didn't pick up Jamison Williams' 5th-year option before the draft. You did it the next morning, right? That's not a coincidence. So, Trey Hendricks, any quality edge rusher, we're not going to try to attain them. Aiden Hutchinson was literally gifted to us, and he fit the characteristics. He just happened to be a good pass rusher, right? We're not going to. I think we take one in the 6th round. You know what he's looking for? He's looking for Malcolm Rodriguez, diamond in the rough, lightning in the bottle. He's looking for James Houston, right? His rookie season. So I think we take one in the 6th round. I think that's the only hope we have. As far as Zadarius Smith, I'm actually gonna make a video right after this, because if I'm Zadarius, I ain't coming back for nothing. As a matter of fact, yesterday's price ain't today's price. Whatever you talk to my agent about, the price that went up. That's what it is. That's what it is.
It is the opposite of film evaluation, and we're all about film evaluation, and that's the hard part of scouting.
Don't forget, y'all. With the 96th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions, based off film evaluation, select Broderick Martin, 96 overall. See, when you start, he's starting to kind of unravel, man. He's unraveling. Because if you based it off film evaluation, why did you draft Broderick Martin?
That's height, weight, speed is easy. Stats are easy. A position listed is easy.
Oh.
But film evaluation is hard to figure it out. Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. I guess he told us, right? I guess he told us. He said stats. Hold on. Let me cue it up because I haven't had these sound bites in a minute. He said stats evaluation. Stats is easy.
Got him!
He said whatever else he said is easy.
Got him!
Dang, bro. So Zadarius Smith, it doesn't matter that you led the team in sacks after Hutch went down.
Got him!
It doesn't matter that you had the most pressures after Hutch went down.
Got him!
It doesn't matter that we traded for you. You didn't even play a full season.
Got him!
It doesn't matter that you had almost 10 sacks when the closest person after Hutch had 3.5.
Got him!
Stats. I think that was directed toward me. I'm just playing. Brad Holmes confirmed what I already knew. What you already knew too. Trey was never coming here. Myles Garrett was never coming here. Yes, we're going to talk about those. What's his name? Max Crosby was never coming here. Was never coming here. We need to thank the Jacksonville Jaguars for being dumb in 2022. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have Hutch. So, with that being said, I'm glad that he said what he said because now it's confirmed that we hold the edge position a higher value than Brad Holmes. That means from here on out, I don't know, like I ain't doing no mocks. I don't do mocks anyway because they're dumb, but I'll talk about other people's mocks. Brad gonna do what he want to do. But one thing is true, no matter what you think of me, he has to earn another extension. Right? He has one. He earned the first one. He has to earn another one. We've been on for 49 minutes. We'll stay on for another 10. Make it a solid hour. You guys got anything you want to talk about? Let me know in the comment section below. Right now, we've got 445 votes. Great day 2 of the draft. And so far, we'll end this poll at the end of the session. We got 18% A. You have 34% B. You have 26% C, and you have 22 with D or worse. So that means that roughly 100 people don't think it's above a D. Brad drafts a DT every year. He is going to get the guy in his top 30. Motor City Maniac says he's already got the job. Not in 2028. He does not. He is right now unemployed. What does that mean? We're cooked. So does that mean we're cooked? What about Kayvon Thibodeau? Yeah, hey, once they took Carter and they wind up Kayvon Thibodeau. He's already earned another one according to half the Goofies. Most arrogant GM in an NFL. Isaac Tesla will give his life for the team. I like the kid. A grade is glazing. I know that's funny. Wait, I know that's why it's funny. I wish I had 4 hands so I could give the wide receiver pick 4 thumbs down. Tony's not a fan of Tesla, huh? Let me see. Isaac Tesla better be the next Puka Nacua. Well, according to him, he models his game after him. You know what? What's funny? No, don't worry. We'll take an edge tomorrow. We'll take one tomorrow. Lions writer said, don't be shocked if Brad trades up tomorrow. Okay, with what capital, though? What do you think? What capital will we have to trade up? We're already tapped out for next year. The Lions are about to get lit by the pass-happy teams. Brad loves trading away picks for mid. Brad lowballs people. Zadarius didn't take that. Gave too much for Tesla. Well, he was their kind of guy. Next 2 years, LOL. So here's what I think, honestly. I think if Brad Holmes makes the Super Bowl, even if we don't win, I think he gets extended. I think he's earned another extension because no other GM has done that. So I think he's earned an extension. I would give him another 2 years. Another 2 years because they didn't get a huge extension this time. It was only a few years. If he wins the Super Bowl, I would hand him. I'd be like, look, sign here. Where you just put in the number of years you want to be here. It's that simple for me. Brad has the chance to do something nobody else has done. Him and Dan Campbell. To me, I feel like Dan has done his job. I feel like Brad has done a great job. Don't get me wrong. But you know what? Today was phenomenal. Today was phenomenal, man, because now I had it's been a hard 2 years for me. Like watching us lose, I flew back from California, was sick. I didn't even know. I was recovering from that. It took me all year, all offseason to recover from that loss. The season starts, we come out, we beat the Rams, which was great. We lose to the Buccaneers, which we was just sloppy. We go on this tear. We lose 2 games all year, and we think this is our year. But I have said, and I still stand by this, the Detroit Lions will not win a Super Bowl with 2 things: a mediocre defense, and if they don't have a dominant pass rush. If that have to come up the middle, then so be it. But we need a Chris Jones. If Williams can be a Chris Jones, get 15, a Quinnen Williams, a Jeffrey Simmons, if he can be that guy, fine. Then maybe we can have Al Qadim on the outside. You know what I'm saying? We got Hutch and nobody else. Davenport has never had a healthy season. He had 2 season-ending injuries. Brad Holmes mentioned injury luck. Injury luck. Like, we just hope he's lucky enough to stay healthy. I myself don't believe in luck, but apparently Brad Holmes does. He believes in Davenport. He believes in Davenport more than he believes in Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith was healthy. Davenport was cheap. It's very clear. And this was fantastic. I'm actually going to timestamp when he said that so I can put it on my soundboard. Ethan says, y'all some crybabies. Well, Ethan, I don't know who you talking to, but I will see you when the season starts. Hey, William, 100%. Last we saw Hutch, one of his legs was half the size of the other one. He's not going to be the same for a while. Super Bowl windows open and close fast unless you have a special QB. If it doesn't happen in the next 2 seasons, it won't. You see that? I think it's funny. Ethan said, we some crybabies. That's funny to me. I don't understand Lions fans. Maybe we deserve exactly what we get. How are we crying when we trying to have a logical explanation? I've not really tripped out. I haven't crashed out, as the kids say. I'm having a logical explanation about a man who literally came out and said that the audience, because those reporters were talking for the fans, that they value the pass rush more, or the edge position more than it's more of a priority for them than it is for the team. Which tells, how are we crying? Like, this is, no, Bridget, I know, it's entertainment. Nah, Hutch works hard. Brad says edge rushers overrated. He sure did say that. Just good enough is what Lions fans are okay with. You know what, Floyd? That's my point. That's why I said we deserve. What are we talking about? We got the highest price tickets in the NFL. How are we? I don't think we asking for a lot. We just want a Super Bowl. Give us an appearance. I would be devastated if we took an L, but at least we can check that box off. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll leave the Jacksonville Jaguars, Cleveland Browns, and Texans where they are. Dude, did a really get a crappie wide receiver? I don't think Tesla's bad. I don't think he's terrible. Was he worth 2/3? I don't know about that. Obviously, the Lions didn't think he was going to be there at 102. They didn't think he was going to, and they obviously thought the Raiders or Ravens were going to take my man, Ratledge. I think we can still make the playoffs and probably an NFC championship, but a Super Bowl, nah. Nate Bradley in the building says, we know that. However, research indicates it is tough to not inquire injuries around that clean break. It's not really a good sign ahead. Hey, yeah, rapper. So we traded both our first round picks for Tesla. I made a video about him. And it was a complete flop. And now he's on our team. Derek, the Eagles are stacked, and they took Campbell and another edge in the 3rd round. No excuses for Brad. I agree. And it's going to be on him to get a contract extension. but maybe y'all will see it now.
Well, we out of time.
That's what we gonna say. That's what we gonna be saying. At least go get. Okay, so Timothy, I agree with you, my man, but let's not act like. And see, you know what? That's another thing about Lions fans, and this will be the last topic. And I'm about to go instantly make a video. We got a long day tomorrow. I got to get some sleep, but Lions fans instantly went to, well, Zadarius Smith must be coming back. What gives you that indication? Because he's still in Detroit? Because we didn't take an edge rusher? Does Zadarius Smith, remember, he didn't have any say-so on whether or not he got traded. He couldn't stop that. This is his decision. The team that traded for him cut him. This is all up to him. And I hope he does what's best for him and his family. If that means he comes to Detroit, fantastic. If it means he doesn't, fantastic. Brad said that we think that edge rusher is more of a priority than they do. Paraphrasing. So, with that being said, I hope that, man, I want the season to come. I think Brad is feeling the pressure. But you know who's been telling you this all along? Me. I've been telling you this all along. It's a lot of Glazers in this space. As a matter of fact, they should rename their channel Jay Glazers. Johnny Glazers. Hey, do me a favor. I don't want to say it. Who is your favorite Detroit Lions Glazer? I won't say it. I just want to know. If you've got it in you, well, don't forget the person could be watching and see this as well. I can name a few. I can name one. I'll name one. I'll name one. I'll name one. Tony said, okay, Joey said Woodward. Tony said, I unsubscribed to all of them. Woodward. They Glazers? I didn't know that. Y'all want to know? Somebody guess. Somebody guess. And then we'll wrap up the show because we almost out of time. Somebody guess. Put in the chat. Who do you think is the biggest, is my favorite or least favorite Glazer in the chat? No. Nope, it's one. I need the whole name. Nope. No, it's a content creator. A lot of Glazers. Tony said, hey, that's not the full name. I need the full name. A lot of Glazers, bro. I'm going to tell you why Lions content creators glaze. Some of them are just getting paid. They just getting paid. Some of them are just doing a job. They really not that invested. Some of them are liars, thieves, connivers. Some of them are those guys. Some of them pretend that they don't like or that they like a pick, and then they'll say something behind the scenes. There's one content creator in particular that had a did not think that Hutch should have been paid and had a a huge disdain for Amon-Ra St. Brown as a contract was coming up. And I remember back in the day having a conversation with this individual, but it's a lot of Glazers. And one of them actually referred to me today and said something about crashing out. You're not going to get that from me. You're not going to get that from me. But you know what? That aside, y'all, in real talk, in all seriousness, I am a fan first of this team. And I think that's why we resonate. Whether you love me, hate me, whether you come to see me crash out, I'm also very entertaining, whether you like it or not, right? But I think one thing that you get from me is real. And you know that, you know what? This guy, he crazy, but I can tell he a fan of the team. Brad Holmes, he is going to be his worst enemy. I don't know who's going to tell you that other than me. I'm also going to tell you that he is under contract for 3 more seasons. He has to earn another contract extension, just like everybody else. If I make content you guys don't want to see, you stop watching. I become irrelevant. Brad Holmes doesn't get us, just think about this. When his contract is up, it will be, he's done his 4th year, right? He's got 3 more seasons. It'll be 7 years. Where do you expect the Detroit Lions to be after year 7? Because let me remind you now, after year 3, we go to the NFC Championship game. Because I don't know if y'all noticed this, and I said this earlier. The vibe has changed. Nobody's talking about in year 4. You never heard year 3 of a rebuild. You never heard year 4 of a rebuild. Remember how a lot of y'all used to say that? You also used to say we're ahead of schedule. Year 4, you had all the expectations to win a Super Bowl. Boom. We didn't do it. Now the tide is kind of changing. I think Brad's armor is starting to crack. I think some people are starting to see, like, you know what? They starting to give him that side-eye Chloe, like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think he can be great. I think he got to get out his own way. Just be authentic, right or wrong. That's all it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, you gonna know. That's for sure. You gonna know if I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll say I'm wrong in a second. But if I'm right, you gonna know. I catch a lot of heat on this platform. A lot of heat. But you know what? If they talking about you in the Lions chat, then you're doing something right. You're doing something right. But listen, good night. We on tomorrow at 12 p.m. sharp. Long day. I'm not in a rush. You don't be in a rush either. Come stop by whenever you get an opportunity. Cut the grass. Go have a picnic. Doesn't matter, man. Take a cruise. Ride your motorcycle. Go out and walk 10,000 steps. Lions still won't pick. We're going to see what Brad Holmes talking about. 2 6 and 3 7s. Remember, 7s have 0 impact on anything other than special teams on the Lions. Right? Anyway, good night, everybody. Appreciate y'all. And yes. Yeah. Look, I got so many receipts. I got so many receipts, man. I got receipts, and then I got extra receipts. Let me just put it like this. This will be a real low way to stoop. But you know how, like, your iPhone, you know what happened to Shannon Sharp? Like, Shannon Sharp had these messages come out, which was crazy. It was crazy, right? And something told me, I said, you know what? I ain't never done this because I ain't that type of guy. But something told me, said, Derek, you know, as a matter of fact, it was my wife. My wife said, Derek, I don't know about this guy. She told me. I said, what you talking about? What you talking about? He the homie. I said, what you talking about? But something in my spirit, something told me, you know what, Derek? I want you to cut off your text messages from deleting themselves after 1 year. Don't have them delete. Don't delete the text messages. Keep the text messages. Keep the text messages. You might need them one day. You might need them. And I'm glad I did. And then I got receipts and then more receipts, right? So I got like extra receipts. So, you know, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting on him to start the fire. Because if the fire start, but he had never mentioned my name, though. He too much of a pansy. He would never say my name. Because if he do, I'm just saying. Anyway, it's time for me to go to bed, man. Good night, everybody. I'm kind of hoping he would, though.